Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another weekly Fordcast. My name's Dion. Today I'm going to be Fordcasting 4 pairs. I'm going through AU, I'm going through AJ, I'm going through Bitcoin, and I'm going through Doge because why not? So whatever you want to look at, all the timestamps will be in the timeline below. So skip to what you want to watch. If you want to watch the whole thing, then kick back. We're going to go through AU first. So starting off with AU, as you can see here, I am on the weekly time frame. I just want to see, what price did this week because it could be a strong indicator of what could carry on over to the next week. So what we have here is a rejection to the 0.77. Now my charts do say it is 0.6999. I just didn't move it correctly, but yeah, that is supposed to be the 0.77, which is a significant area for AU. Now seeing that there is a strong rejection, it did break below and it closed below. So price couldn't break above this area here. It did touch the 8,000 and then strong rejection last week. Very big bearish movement. And this week there was a bit of consolidation going on. So as you can see here on the daily time frame, we did actually close below. Now we do have a lower high and what looks like a lower low being created. So let's see what happens over the next couple weeks. I'm dropping into the smaller time frames now because it makes everything a lot more clear. What we see here is a break and a retest to the downside of the 0.77. Now we see two strong rejections here exactly to the 0.77 with these two wicks. So what I see here is if we were to zoom out, it is just what could be a downtrend forming. There was the high here, which was made at the 8,000, a very strong rejection to the downside. It hit the 0.77. Now, price did respect it, bounced off, but all it did here was create a lower high. Then another impulsive movement to the downside, where we came down to 0.6765. I came back up, and now we're rejecting the 0.77. Now, this is pretty textbook standard break and retest of significant levels. So judging it from, the daily and the hourly trend, I can see that price is struggling to, make a push up. Now, my targets were initially set to 0.81. I thought if price on AU is going long, it's going to 0.81. Now, we didn't quite reach that because we couldn't break the 8,000. So now price is dropping right back down. So moving back down to the smaller time frames, pretty much what I'm looking for in the following week is how does price react to this? Is it just a fake out to the bottom? Is it going to push back up? Are we going to respect this area strongly before coming down to this next area of support, which is the 0.76? So I'm going to quickly look for a couple confluences, see what price is showing me. So we'll head over to the 4 hour. Now I'm going to use some Fibonacci just to see, what's going on. Are we in a reversal? Is this retracements? So now we see what price action has showed us. Price action has showed us that price could not break above the 8,000. Strong drop back to the next significant level. We broke through, retested it, and it looks like price may continue to the downside. But now we'll use the tools that TradingView has given us and see if we can analyze it in a little bit more depth. So on the screen, I just chucked on two moving averages, and what we can see at this current time, price is currently below both moving averages, the 7 and the 20. And the 7 has crossed below the 20, so that is pretty strong, bearish trends right here. So the moving averages are showing us that price is moving bearish. Price action is showing us that price is moving bearish. Now we'll use some Fibonacci and see what's going to happen because this may be a good indication or a good spot to get in for shorts. So I'm going to start up here at the last high where price started the push down, and I'm ending it at the bottom of the wick. Now what we can see here is that the 0.77 does line up pretty well with the 0.382 Fibonacci level, and we have had two rejections there. So there is, this case is building itself to be, I'm getting pretty confident with taking some shorts next week on AU. So Fibonacci is telling us that, it's into the 0.382. It's rejecting off the 0.77 to the downside. Textbook break and retest of the significant level. We have both moving averages crossed correctly. Price is below both moving averages. There's some pretty good confluences here. Now this is on the hourly time frame. I'm gonna head into the 15 minutes, which I am trying not to use as much these days. So trading on the 15-minute time frame just hasn't really been doing it for me lately. So I've decided to avoid the 15-minute time frame, the 5-minute time frame, and I'm going back into longer term trading. Executing on maybe the hourly, the 2-hour, and doing my analysis on the daily and the weekly. But here on the 15-minute chart, what we can see is that there was a rejection here to the 0.77, big drop. We're coming in for another test. And what we can see here is maybe this might be the area where price decides to melt down to the 0.76. So coming into next week, there's a few things which I'm going to look for. First of all, how is price going to react to the 0.77? We have seen 2 rejections currently. It's rejecting not only the level, but the Fibonacci. So chances are more than likely price is going to drop from here. So what I'll be looking for is just this. I mean, to put it simply, if I'm trading AU next week, that's what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna wait for some confirmation, maybe on the smaller time frames like the hourly. I'll look for a little area that the price may need to break before melting down. So to play it safe, what we could do is wait for price to break this last area where price was, where it closed last. It couldn't close below this, so if we do see a strong close below this area, we can take shorts down to the next level. That's sort of how I've been trading recently, and honestly don't really like buying or selling once price breaks either the lower low or the higher high. So I'll make another video about this, but pretty much slightly adjusting the way I trade to entering trades on the retracement rather than after it's bounced off the retracement and broken a certain level, if that makes sense. But I'll make another video about that sometime soon. But for AU, I'm just gonna see if it rejects the 0.77 with a bearish engulfing candle or something strong like that, then I'm going short. Now to add further confluence to that, here we have the dollar index. And there was this strong area of resistance here where price was sort of consolidating for a bit. I'll chuck it onto the 4-hour. But so price was consolidating within this area a little bit. Now, initially I thought that, I said that my targets were set to 0.81. I thought the Aussie dollar was going to go up. Now that is because I saw this rejection around here. I just saw that price was struggling to break this resistance. So I thought, okay, if it hits this resistance and decides to melt down, that is going to push the Aussie dollar up. So that's why my goals are up there. But now we see that price actually has broken this resistance. It's broken the last high that it created, and it's creating a higher high. So what we could see is price create a higher low by rejecting off this area here. As we see, this is where price stopped last. So we could see just a short-term pullback, retracement before making further upside moves, which will melt the Aussie dollar. So same goes with AJ right here. I did have targets going long, but over the past couple of days, since the 4th, it's been pretty bearish. Price couldn't crack through here. Price couldn't crack through here. What I saw was a double top being formed, indicating that price was going to melt down. So what I have here is a weekly level. I'll go over to the month. You can even see it on the monthly, but as you can see, if you were to draw this out still, strong rejections, many wicks to this area, it is a significant level. So on the Aussie dollar, I have the 0.77 as my key level that we're currently interacting with. Here on AJ, it's 83.1. So you can see it clearly on the weekly. I'll drop down into on the monthly, and you can also see it clearly here on the weekly. Strong rejections, key level. I pretty much just want to see how does price interact with this level. Is it going to close above? Is it closing below? Is it going to reject it? So what we have here is price it did close above. So we did make a higher high. We made a higher low, but we couldn't exactly make a higher high here. Now price started consolidating just above this key level, telling us that it doesn't have strength to continue that bullish push through. So AJ and AU sort of follow each other with their movements. They are very similar. They move very similar just because they both have the Aussie dollar. The only difference is the Aussie dollar, you know, has the USD in it, which sort of makes it a little bit more crazy. Whereas the yen is more relaxed, it's more calm from what I've seen. So this pair moves slower, moves a little bit more smooth. But what I can see here is a small short-term resistance right there. So we found resistance at 83.5. Price can't crack above. What I'm gonna do with AJ is I'm gonna get rid of this, head into smaller time frames, and find this area of consolidation and just draw a box around it. Just some textbook break of consolidation areas. So here, this was the last high. I'm gonna do something like this. Now I do have my own like templates here. So consolidation's always blue. This is a blue one here. Maybe we might be able to see this zone a little bit more clearly on the 4 hour. So this is my area of consolidation. With AJ, I don't think I'm going to do too much until I've seen a break of this area. Now, this is a lot more of a patient way of trading because I will have to wait. And AJ, it doesn't move exactly so fast. So I may not even trade AJ this week depending on how price moves. But pretty much if it does follow the Aussie dollar, and if the Aussie dollar does get pretty weak, then chances are AJ can drop too. And I do have these two areas marked up here. So if price does decide to be bearish and drop, then I do know where my targets are. I feel like I just want to wait a little bit more. I can't really exactly tell what it could do at this moment or this week. I would rather some price action, some more price action form. Maybe like a break and a retest of the weekly, monthly area. Like if we see something like this, this would be great. So pretty much there's a few things that could happen here. We could see something like this down to here. This would be a nice move, as pretty much we're seeing rejections of the weekly, monthly key area. We could even just see it melt right down. We could see it even, we could see it even create a double bottom here and follow up with a higher high. There's a few things that could happen. I honestly feel like this week I might trade AU instead of AJ just because I don't like the way AJ is set up right now. But yeah, I am feeling a little bit more bearish just because of the confluence I have with AU and just because I can see the consolidation around the key area. It doesn't have enough power to push through, but it may be gathering that power to make the push up to the upside. So now we have Bitcoin here. Now, as you can see, I already have had some like analysis on here. All this is, it's a fib level from the last push on the higher time frames. So what I saw here is the push from here roughly to up here. It created this golden zone. We saw price reject the golden zone and also the support of this ascending trend line, which is forming the support of this channel. So it's touched off both. I did place a few entries down here. I think I also entered here earlier on through like last week as well. So Bitcoin's going all right. Right now we're seeing bullish movement. I did put this arrow here. So all this arrow is trying to say, okay, I'm not even gonna bother explaining it. It's an upwards arrow. I'm pretty sure you can decipher what that means. But yeah, we've seen a strong rejection of the 0.5 fib zone. We've seen a strong rejection of this ascending trend line. We are in an uptrend. We're seeing higher lows, higher highs. Bitcoin, I'm bullish. Now with Dogecoin. Dogecoin has just been consolidating for a while. Now, I haven't really been looking into the fundamentals behind this. I do mostly just analyze this through like a technical lens. So yeah, what I'm seeing right now and what price is telling me is that there was a triangle. I was waiting for a breakout. Now, I was looking for longs down here in this area, but I'm glad I didn't enter because so much consolidation around here could mean that there's not enough power to make its way through. Price could honestly just melt from here. Dogecoin is a meme coin. It's so up to just whatever everyone else says. It is just a very sheep coin. People follow each other around in herds, and it might boost it if everyone decides to go along with it, or if Elon Musk tweets and isn't really feeling it, then everyone's going to start following that and they're going to push it bearish. This is just a fun coin to play around with, but from a technical perspective, I'm going to wait just like AJ. There's an area of consolidation just here. I'm not doing anything until it breaks out of this area. So with Doge, I am bullish. I do have my target set up here to about 8 to 9 cents, but I don't really like how this consolidation is looking. And I'm sure if we go into the smaller time frames, it is just a little bit of a mess. Yeah, so we are in some consolidation. We're not making any higher highs. We're not making any higher lows. I mean, depends how much you want to look into it. You could see this head and shoulders pattern down here. We did get the bullish movement, but not enough power to crack through the last highs. So Dogecoin, I don't know what's going to happen, but I will keep my eye on it throughout the week. So anyways, guys, that's the end of this week's weekly forecast. I hope you enjoyed it. I do this every single week. So if you do want to stay up to date with the forecasts, mainly on the Aussie dollar, on the Aussie pairs, and recently I've been doing a lot of Bitcoin and Doge. If you want to stay up to date with that, then make sure you subscribe. I upload every single week. Yeah, and if this video brought you value, then hit the thumbs up. It would just give me a good sense of what videos I should continue making and what I shouldn't. So yeah, that's all for today. I'll catch you guys in the next one.